Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On this edition of Rocket in Reidsville, Jeff Garstka, Economic Development Director for the City of Reidsville. Jeff, another big announcement, more good news this week in Reidsville.
It is, Mike. Thanks for allowing us to spread more good news on your show.
Tell us what happened and what's going to happen with the old Reidsville Theater, the old Rockingham Theater downtown.
Yes, so probably for the better part of 6 to 8 months, right after the theater was closed for movies, this community leadership said we got to figure out right away how to do something in there, whether it's another movie theater or what have you. And first call we really made was to the Robertson family who owned the theater, and it was a very sentimental piece of property for them. It's been in their family a long time, and as I stated in my comments Tuesday, none of this happens without willingness to be a partner, and just can't thank them enough for letting it go. And I know that's a tough decision, but they were excited about it. So we got hooked up with Brown Entertainment, who operates the Liberty Showcase Theater in Liberty, North Carolina, and we were able to get them some financing through the Regional Council of Governments, the PTRC, and some grant money from the Downtown Fund. And they told us, and this is not a self-serving comment, but they told us about halfway through this project that they did the thing in Liberty on their own. They didn't even know there was help out there. So they came to Reidsville, and we put our Team Reidsville hat on, and I think we overwhelmed them with the kind of support we were able to give them. And that's just, that's just what this city does. And so it was a great partnership. So they're going to renovate and reopen the theater as basically a performing arts venue. They specialize in concerts of very popular past and current, country and bluegrass genre. They've had Vince Gill, the Oak Ridge Boys. They've had some huge, big-name acts. And they also, talked about expanding the genre to other types of music, and also maybe partnering with the local theater guild and the high schools to do some plays and just lots of cool things. So it's gonna really be a big deal.
And the building next door, the Mural Park building, part of this whole project as well.
It is. The city has owned that building for about 10 years, so before my time, but as I understand it, it was in very much disrepair, and the city put some money into it to stabilize the building, to get it to a point where somebody could, take it. We had put a request for qualifications out there publicly for developers or whomever that wanted to put in a proposal to do a redevelopment. We had numerous people walk through there with all kinds of different business ideas. The challenge was, there's not a floor in there. There's basic plumbing, basic lights, so it's a very raw shell building in current condition, and the renovation cost to do certain things in there is pretty substantial. So, again, with the amount of money they were able to borrow from PTRC will allow them to do what they want to do in there through some creative financing. But the city was unanimous at council on Tuesday night to convey that building to them. They're going to connect the buildings. It'll be a concessions lobby. They're talking about even having, meet and greet autographs with the artists. They've got really close relationships with the artists that they recruit, and they know a lot about the business. So I feel like it'll be a very fan-friendly experience, and they'll put offices up there for themselves and dressing rooms, all that kind of stuff. And then down the road, maybe a more traditional eatery that's open on off days, and possibly on the third floor even some boutique hotel type space with music memorabilia decor. So just so much potential, and just as I said in my comments, and this is very sincere, in my career 17 years I've been involved in recruiting large industry projects, triple million dollar projects with thousands of jobs, and I've been very blessed to be a part of those. But this probably, for me, is probably the biggest project as far as impact on a community for the public. It's always great to bring jobs, that's the goal. But this is the impact this will have on City of Reidsville, Rockingham County, and the whole area is beyond measure.
Well, I remember your comments from that the other day, and yeah, looking at the impact, it's far-reaching, that's for sure. And to take an old theater from 1929 days and have the vision to do what the Browns are going to do, it is very exciting. It's a win-win for so many people, isn't it?
It is. It really, really is. And like I said, they play music. They, Dewey Brown has been with the Ralph Stanley Band for many years, which is he's a legend in the bluegrass world.
Yeah.
So they're concert promoters. They run different businesses in that in the music business. So they're very experienced, and I have no doubt that brings a huge level of credibility to the project. And they've already, I think they were already trying to book bands. So,
yeah.
They're going to move quickly. And you're right about the theater. It's such a historic cornerstone venue. One of the first on the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken, that showed movies. So, it's a legendary venue. And to be able to have it converted into something where, 300 to 400 people can come and watch a very intimate show with artists that could sell out an arena. You're packing people into a small venue is always a really cool experience.
And generations continue to enjoy that venue. Let's talk about one of their neighbors, Lucky City Brewing. I believe they have their annual meeting this coming Sunday. What's the latest there?
They're well under construction. Their original target date when they started was October. Probably that'll be a little bit later in the year, but they'll be open in a matter of weeks, really, a month or two probably. But they're well underway. I believe they ordered and we're getting ready to install their brewing equipment this week, and that's a huge step. Once that goes in, it feels very real. But they've done a great job with the renovation, what they've done to the front of the building, basically taking the facade and moving it inward about 16 feet or so. They're going to have those big garage doors that open to the outside. They'll have outside seating, but also indoor seating that feels outside. So it's just it's going to be a really good venue, and it's going to be family friendly. They'll have, non-alcoholic beverages, and Carmela's Pizza is going to put a little restaurant in there, or at least a kitchen, and their menu is targeted at, gourmet burgers and that kind of thing, so a little different than their pizza Italian place. So that's very exciting. They had a lot of responses. They kind of put out an APB to local restaurants, and they had some great proposals from local restaurants, and they just felt like that was a great fit. So it's going to be really, really fun. And, people have said, wow, it sure did take a long time to get to this point, but they basically had a 5-year plan, and they're in year 4. So it took as long as it should have taken, and really technically shorter than it was projected.
Yeah. Okay. So good things coming together there at Lucky City Brewing. Let's head across the tracks to the Depot District and an update, Jeff.
We are so excited about this project. We've had our eye on mixed-use redevelopment idea over there for several years. We've finally hired a design firm called the Design Workshop. They're based in Colorado with North Carolina offices. We had a kickoff meeting a few days ago with them. They're going to be getting started immediately. We will be having community meetings for people to come and share their vision and to understand what the plan is, the neighboring residents and businesses, so they have buy-in to the process. We'll have some stakeholder meetings. We're planning a developers forum to attract some of these well-known developers in the Triad area who've done historic downtown redevelopment projects. So it's, we're going to get a lot of feedback, a lot of buy-in, a lot of opinions and ideas from the community. And at the end of the day, they're going to deliver a plan, a physical sort of a master plan that's going to have a lot of pedestrian-friendly connectivity with downtown and within the area. And, we've already got one project that's in the works over there that was ahead of its time before we even decided to do a plan. So it's already being kicked off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're getting good things there at the Depot District as that comes together. And I'm looking at this handout that picked up the other day at the announcement about Reidsville Showcase, and it lists some of the downtown Reidsville projects. Can you go over some of those, please?
Sure. We are working on a project called Patriots Park. There's a nonprofit entity that wants to put one of these in all 100 counties, and we are going to do one of those. It's a little public gathering space with some little kiosks, I guess you could call it, that will have all the U.S. historic documents, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, those kind of things that people can go and read and kind of nostalgic and learn about more about the history of the country. We do plan to have a document that is based on some civil rights movement, so that's going to be exciting. That's one project, and that'll be on the north end of downtown over by the library. And on the south end of downtown, of course, we've got the 150-year city anniversary coming up in 2023. We'll have a really, really cool new clock tower to commemorate that. And then the fire department and the police department had been working on a 9/11 memorial, and there were several ideas about that. And then they got connected with Jim Gallucci, who did the at the roundabout the Budding Future sculpture. He went up to New York City after 9/11 and was able to actually get steel beams from those buildings and metal materials from the buildings, and that's going to be the memorial. He is, I believe, he's donating that material, and he's going to donate his time to construct it. We've seen some renderings of it, and it's going to be really powerful for people to go there and see actual materials from those buildings that tragically fell. It's a very moving memorial to 9/11 and our local first responders.
Yeah. When do you think that will be ready, and where will it be, did you say, Jeff?
That's going to be on the south end over towards the fire station 1.
Okay.
But time frame, it's in the works. I don't have an exact date of opening, but certainly middle of 2021, if not sooner, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All righty. Well, we've got a couple of minutes remaining. This is what Team Reidsville is all about, isn't it? It
is. I go back to the theater project. We had so many city staff and elected officials involved in that project. The 9/11 Memorial, the Patriots Park. We've got, just virtually every city department that's chipping in on those projects. That's what it's all about here in the city of Reidsville with staff and our elected leadership. It's a team sport is kind of an overplayed term, but I can't. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah. Well, thanks to everyone for making it happen in Reidsville. More and more becoming a destination for arts and entertainment. It's exciting. I know you're excited, and thank you to everyone involved. And thank you for sharing some of the good things coming up, too, Jeff.
You bet. And I believe on your upcoming show, you've got our new Main Street manager, Jill Weston, who joined us about a month ago. She is full of energy and ideas, and I think she's coming on your show to talk a little bit more about some upcoming events. I will mention quickly, and she'll go more into it, but we're having a Halloween trick-or-treat drive-through at J.C. Park. Mm-hmm. We'll have different candy stations with big PVC chutes to drop the candy down into people driving through. That's going to be really fun, and we'll also be handing out a holiday scavenger hunt card where we'll have prizes for individuals who go around and visit the different businesses downtown. We already have 13 who have signed up. You kind of get your card punched, and then you go into a drawing for cool prizes, and we will have a very exciting grand prize for folks who spend a minimum of $35 in our downtown merchant businesses and restaurants. That's going to run the entire month of November. Then we have a Christmas holiday movie planned at J.C. Park. It's going to be the Polar Express. So that'll be a drive-in movie experience. The people can come in their PJs and hot chocolate and some food vendors. So we just felt like we missed the summer season. But we have to do something for our citizens and visitors around the holidays. We got to lift some spirits.
Get more information at rocketandreidsville.com.